not believe a deal between the club and star pass rusher Micah Parsons is far off, but Jerry also doesn't feel it's urgent to get the deal done.
The idea that the only success is getting a contract done at an early time is incorrect. And I'd rather pay more and get it right than I had pay less and screw it up. The agent is not a factor here or something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team.
In response to a tweet by Cowboys reporter Clarence Hill saying that Jerry disrespected his agent, Micah posted facts. David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without David Mulligetta involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There is no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no back doors in this contract negotiation. Okay, he didn't respect him, but he doesn't matter in this equation, and he doesn't know his name. Peter Schrager, welcome to the team. It is so good to have you. Welcome to ESPN, and thanks for being with us here this morning.
Yeah, and thank you, Jerry Jones, for giving us a topic that we can chew on.
Oh, my gosh.
This is it.
What else is new?
This is it.
Peter, your takeaway from this situation?
Jerry is a wildcatter. He is an oil man. He is someone who is different than the 31 other decision makers in the NFL. He wants to look at the individual in the eye, and he wants to deal with that person directly. It's a family business to him. And whereas everyone else is worried about salary cap and well, what does this mean? Jerry Jones looks at it as his money, his relationships, and this is something that he wants to do on his timeline and with the individuals that he's dealing with. So when he disrespects an agent, which he did to a very fine agent, I don't ever imagine in my life Jerry Jones coming out being like, well, the agents and athletes first are for top notch, and we can't. That's not him. He wants to deal with you directly. He even referenced Emmett and Dion. We're talking about nearly 40 years ago. He's like, that's how I did my deals with Emmett and Dion. Jerry is not getting any younger, but to him, it is almost more about the art of the deal and the business. And that part of it is an art to him, whereas a lot of these different decision makers, it's a science and it's numbers and it's calculations. He wants the personal relationship. This is going to be the second biggest contract that Jerry Jones ever signs. He wants to deal with Micah Parsons directly, man-to-man on that, and not have his agent be the voice box or the person who's speaking on his behalf. Eventually, the agent will get in, and the deal will get done. But to Jerry, this is everything, and this is family, and he wants Micah to be family, and they want to do this stuff together.
You didn't tell a lie. Everything that you said is on point. But it doesn't make what he said any less disrespectful and uncalled for. David is one of the best agents in the business. I got some of his client list here. Just watching. I just Googled it. Maybe they still. I hope they're still with him. I think they are.
Well, at one point.
But this man has Deshaun Watson. He had Derwin James, C.J. Stroud, Kyle Pitts, Jordan Love, T. Higgins. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And what I'm saying is I bring that up because Jerry prides himself on being a businessman and about the business of the National Football League. And when you have an agent representing those kind of clients, obviously he's doing business with the National Football League. You know exactly who the hell he is. Of course, stop lying. And I love Jerry, but come on, man. I mean, this is unnecessary. This is uncalled for. Everybody knows I got a good relationship with Jerry. I really, I got a lot of affection for that man. But I have been very, very concerned because I've seen slippage. Now, I ain't going to go as far as Biden, but I've said this about Jerry Jones before. I like some of the things he said. This is uncharacteristic. This is how it happens sometimes. A year or so. Huh? No,
is it uncharacteristic?
I'm saying a year. No. Molly, if you go back, we have never seen a preponderance of quotes from Jerry that made no sense. Now, we might hear him say things we disagree with.
No doubt.
But it made no sense. Derrick Henry would have hurt us? Really? Some of the things that he has said this year has been very, very alarming to the point where They actually asked him on radio. Stephen A. said, he's very concerned about it. I am concerned because he's saying things that make no sense. He's saying things that appear to be very clueless and detached from reality. And like you said, and I hand it to you here, Dougie, he is holding on a lot to the past. He's deferring to it a lot more often, like he doesn't even know that times has evolved. And when I asked him, I said, how is it that you think that you're still on top of stuff, particularly with this younger generation?
Yeah.
He said, because I hire a bunch of young people and I keep them around me. Well, how come he ain't listening to them?
All right, I want to get to Mad Dog, but I wouldn't characterize it as slippage, Stephen A. I characterize it as ego.
Well, I think, listen, to me, it's not that big a deal overall because Parsons at the end of the day is going to sign a contract anyway. So, I mean, we're going to, and the problem the Cowboys have, we discussed this last week, Peter, they're going to have 48% of their cap with 3 players. $60 million for Prescott, $34 million for
Lamb.
And they go, what is he going to make Parsons? $40 million a year?
He'll be right up there.
Yeah, what's Garrett make a year?
He's making 40.
So he's going to get
41.
paid. He's going to get paid with Garrett. So that's, think about it, it's 140 something million with the 3 guys, and it's a 279 salary cap. So they're going to have 45, 46% with 3 players. So that is hard to win when you only got the 3 guys out of your 50-man roster making that kind of money. Listen, he is bad for your franchise only because he's so omnipresent. When your owner is, doing press conferences after games, radio shows on a weekly basis, twice a week, and he's the, pseudo GM, it's just not good.
Well, he is, and that's the thing. I think in other buildings, talking about the Aaron Rodgers Pittsburgh situation right now, Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan are having Art Rooney, the owner, come in, and the owner's saying, hey, what's the latest? Like, give me an update. What do we got? Jerry doesn't answer to anybody. And Jerry doesn't have to. There is no power structure. His son, Steven, is a fine NFL executive. He's not coming in there and being like, Dad, we got to get this deal. It's just not how it works.
But why isn't, since you're here, Peter, thank you. It's good to have you. Why isn't Stephen Jones? Listen, we all find ourselves in a position where we don't want to do something as children.
I say, remember, I got to hit the top of the hour.
Why isn't Stephen Jones having more of an impact on his father?
That torch has not been passed yet.
There we go. Case closed.
Good answer.
Don't be giving me the eye. We got to get a break on time. It's my job. Steph Jokic and
Big D is starting to stand for depressing. Okay, so you got star edge rusher Micah Parsons entering his 5th season, last one on his rookie contract. He is extension eligible last offseason. He remains unsigned to a long-term deal. Jerry Jones at the owners' meetings, talking to everything, talking about the unique way he is approaching these negotiations. Sort of sounds like the agent almost doesn't matter. Listen to the way Jerry handled this conversation.
The agent is not a factor here of something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team.
So Micah Parsons himself didn't like that. Someone tweeted that this was disrespectful to his agent, and he tweeted, facts. David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without him involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts, all that. There will be no backdoors in this contract negotiation. The most interesting part of all this, again, I would hate to hear how Jerry Jones would sound if he was trying to demean the agent, because he said he's not going to have one thing to do with this. I don't even know his name. Peter, your first conversation with us here. What do we make of Jerry Jones suggesting he doesn't know the name of Micah Parsons' agent? They're going to do a deal without him and all the rest of it.
His name is David Mulugeta. He's a great agent. Athletes, Jerry don't care about that. Jerry wants it to be a family business, and he wants to look the guy in the eye, and Jerry wants to be the one who is going to make a deal. This is very close and personal to Jerry Jones. It's going to be the second biggest contract Jerry Jones ever signs, of course, to Dak Prescott, which he did last year. And I believe Jerry Jones wants to deal with Micah. And the second you start talking about agents, it's like, no. What do you want him to say? I really respect the guys at Athletes First. Like, that's not coming out of Jerry Jones's voice. That's not what he's doing. He wants it to be on his terms. And I'll tell you guys this. I think Jerry enjoys the art of the deal more than the football sometimes. He loves the business of the game, and it's very close and it's very personal to him. Is there an urgency? Guess what? There's no GM there that has to report to an owner. A lot of times these GMs, like, every time I walk in the door, I've got the owner saying to me, when's this deal going to get done? Where are we at? Jerry plays both roles. This is close to him. It's personal. He referenced Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders in deals that he's done before. That is close to 40 years ago. That is the world Jerry's living in. He wants it to be a personal business, and he wants to look his player in the eye.
So I mean, Micah seemed to be put off by this. Does it matter? I mean, does it matter that the agent gets
once the $41 million a year is in front of Micah, it's not going to matter that Jerry disrespected his agent in March. Look, this is Peter's right. Like once upon a time, this is how he got in the room with the player. Like, hey man, like this is you and me here. Let's talk about this. No state income tax, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that anymore. And I think that Jerry is probably pretty frustrated when you hear him talking here. Like he felt like maybe he and Micah had an understanding, and then the next step is, all right, well, have my agent call Steven and we'll work this out. And now Jerry's feeling like, well, now there's stuff that we didn't talk about that gets brought up. So I think that's what's happening here. But you're right. I mean, like, I'm not trying to demean him. And then objectively, like the next three things he says, demean him in his profession.
Harry, this whole thing did not sit well with you.
No. Number one, it's okay for Jerry Jones it's 2025. It's okay to live in 2025.
Yeah.
You can't live in the 90s or the 80s. It doesn't work like that anymore, Jerry. But the part that really upset me is the simple fact that you have an agent in David Mulugheta, who is one of the most decorated agents, who's negotiated over $1 billion in deals, and you have Jerry Jones saying out loud you don't want to demean him. Well, Jerry, by you saying that, number one, you are demeaning him, but then you're trying to backdoor slide the agent by going to Micah Parsons. Like, to me, that's the ultimate disrespect. This is not Deion. This is not Emmitt Smith. During those days, you were also making NFC championship games and winning Super Bowls. That's not the reality of the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Peter, one thing you're going to have to get used to. We talk about the Cowboys every now and again on this show. I'm not sure if word of that has reached you, but every now and again we find a way to sneak the Cowboys into all this. At the end of the day, they will get this done.
Yes.
Micah Parsons is not going to.
He always gets the deals done. Jerry does get it, but it might not be on the timeline that we hear or the Cowboys fans or the ones on Twitter are going to want to play by. Jerry does it by his own rules, and again, the art of the deal. He's going to make the best deal that he thinks is possible, but it will get done. Business always gets done.
See, that's also an issue with me because Jerry Jones is not proactive. Jerry Jones is reactive. The market is set. Last year when Nick Bosa, $34 million per year, if you would have got that deal done, Michael Parsons is making what, 35? Now you're going to have to pay him 41 because Jamar Chase is 40.25 and you have Myles Garrett at $40 million a year.
Final word. This is a key reminder that it's not just about Jerry deciding a deal should be done and it's done. The player has some say in this, right? The players on the Cowboys like to wait because they've seen examples, right, of Ezekiel Elliott and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. If you wait, you get everything you want. So Micah Parsons may be the one who's pumping the brakes here just as much, if not more, as Jerry Jones.
Prediction, this thing gets done 2 hours before kickoff week one.
The deal, the guaranteed money, the overall money is agreed upon. Cowboys owner saying that he met with the Pro Bowl defensive nightmare for 5 or 6 hours at Jones's office to work out this long-term extension. There are finer details to work out, though, between the team and Parsons' agent, someone Jones spoke on yesterday.
The agent is not a factor here of something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team.
Micah Parsons would share his thoughts on X, saying David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without David Mulugheta, his agent, involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There is no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no backdoors in this contract negotiation. Dan Graziano joining us fresh from the NFL League meetings in Palm Beach, Florida. Dan, what have you heard about a possible extension here for Micah Parsons?
As Jerry indicated yesterday, Randy, they have talked, he and Micah, about a deal. But, what you're hearing from Jerry there is probably some level of frustration that, those talks didn't result in a contract. Obviously, the finer points do still have to be ironed out between the team and Micah Parsons' agent. And I don't think it's as simple as, dotting I's and crossing T's. When the finer points involve language, the guaranteed money means how much is fully guaranteed, how much is injury guaranteed, when does the money show up in terms of the early years of the deal, all those things that have to be worked out. So Jerry may feel like he and Micah had an understanding about parameters, but that doesn't necessarily mean
a deal is close. They'll continue to talk. Ultimately, I think everybody around this believes it will get done. But as is the case with the Cowboys and their big veteran contracts, it could take a while.
Jerry Jones has a track record of going directly to the player on contracts like this in the past. I mean, I think Jason Witten stands to, jump out off the screen here. Parsons, meanwhile, set to play on the 5th-year option of his rookie contract. Another hot topic coming out of the league meetings, this tush-push ban, the tabling of that proposal now, but it's not dead yet. Dan, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, this was different. The last couple of years, it was kind of brought up and shot down. But it seems this time that there's more motivation among people around the league to get it banned. It got 16 votes. It needs 24 votes to change a rule, but the vote yesterday was 16-16, or it would have been if they'd taken it. What they're going to do is they're going to rewrite the proposal. The Packers submitted a proposal to ban it, and the language of the proposal was a little too specific to this one rule, too specific, a lot of teams thought, to the Eagles and to some extent the Bills, the other team that uses it a lot. So what they wanted to do is go back and rewrite the rule so it better reflects what the rule was before 2005, which is no offensive player could push any other offensive player, regardless of where you are on the field. And they'll meet again in May, as they always do, the owners, and they'll reconsider this. And if the language change is sufficient to convince 8 more of them to vote, then yes, it's still possible the tush-push could get banned at that May owners meeting.
8 more votes. That's all that separates us from the end of the tush.